I want to talk about this Angels team, man. From the series with the Yankees, we talk about the bullpen, how they're struggling. All of a sudden, this bullpen came in to Yankee Stadium and absolutely just did what they had to do. Talk a little about where this bullpen is now. They're a game out of the wild card. This staff has been unbelievable as of now for some reason.
Yeah, Ty. I mean, when you look at the first month and a half, their ERA was almost 8. It was like 7.9. And they were struggling. Kenley Jansen, I think, has a big influence on these guys because he basically tells them all, "You're ready every day," because he's ready every day. And even though he's got 462 career saves, he's got a lot of mileage on his arm. These guys are prepared to pitch every day. From Zephyr John, but the big guy for me though is Reed Detmer's been unbelievable. Brock Burke. Guys like that have been great, and Brogdon and Naris has been great cleaning up. He's been unreal coming in with guys on base. But Reed Detmers right now, he threw a no-hitter in his career. He had an immaculate inning in his career as a starter. Initially struggled in the bullpen, but now he's 97, 98 with his fastball, and his slider's back to being unbelievably unhittable, curveball. So there's so many varieties that they can go down there to the bullpen. And, Robert Stevenson came back, threw the ball great, got a little injured again, but he should be back pretty soon. So it's going to be an even deeper bullpen. And we know in this game now, if you don't have a deep bullpen, you're not winning.
That's right. Yeah, and there's stuff. They've got stuff in this bullpen, more than they've probably had in a minute. I watch a lot of Angels games, obviously listen to Gooby. So my question, I want to double down on Detmers because this is a unique career path. He's had ups and downs, former first-round pick. You can probably pinpoint this better than I can. There was an outing where he gave up the game. I think it was his first back-to-back ever in his pro career. How much has he changed from then to now as a former pitcher, and how he had to figure out how to recover like that? He was doing all of this on the fly, right?
Yeah, Scott, that's a great question. And I remember talking to him after that. It was like 2 games in a row in which came in and tie games and didn't do well. I mean, I would be putting it mildly. And I saw it on his face. I said, "How you doing, Dad?" And he goes, "I'm doing good." And I was like, wow, that's pretty good to see because relievers, like, you're on the PGA Tour. If you miss a putt, you better go right back out there and make the next putt. Or if you're in the NFL and you're a kicker, you miss a field goal, you have no time to worry about things. You got to go back and kick that field goal again. I think what the bullpen has done to him, because as a starter, we always knew his stuff was great, but he did too much thinking. And I know that doesn't sound right. Oh, you're thinking too much out there. But out of the bullpen now, he literally gets the call and he's ready to throw as hard as he can and doesn't worry about who's in the batter's box. It could be anybody in the batter's box, and he feels he can get him out. So I think in the end, it's going to help him when he gets. I think he'll be in this role. I think the whole season. If as shocking as that sounds, because I think he's going to be a dominant starter. I think this role this year is going to be perfect for him for when we go into the future. I think he'll be back in the rotation. I think it's going to help him have that mentality of you can't go out there and just kind of coast your way through the first inning or so of a game. It could cost you the ball game. You got to be in attack mode right away. And I think the bullpen usage for him is going to help him in the future as a starter.
Okay, so I want to get to the core here. Neto, let's go to Zach Neto. First off, is he okay? And then I also wanted to ask you about the little back and forth that he had with Hunter Brown the other day. To try and be a neutral observer, where do you stand there as a guy who calls Angels games, but you're a former pitcher, and Hunter Brown's like, dude, get out of the way.
Yeah, I love Zach Neto. I love the way he plays, the energy he plays. Yeah, by the way, the MRI showed no structural damage. I wouldn't be surprised to see him in there, whether it's tonight or tomorrow. Certainly within the next couple of days back in there. He's so valuable to this team. Defensively, he's one of the best shortstops in the game, and offensively. Now, going to the subject of Hunter Brown. By the way, he's one of my all-time favorite pitchers already. He only has about 2 days in the big leagues. I love the way he goes out and competes. And between him and Skubal, remember, Skubal and Neto had a little thing too also, where Neto had a home run off him, then Skubal got him out, and they kind of exchanged some words. I hate to take that away from either the pitcher or the hitter. I mean, I know he's right on top of the plate, and to get him out, you're going to have to pitch him inside. He's going to get hit with a pitch, but I think because that one got him right in the hand, it's the second time Hunter Brown has hit him already in both their young careers that he felt that he wasn't real happy about it. But, I'm always for a pitcher, and I know I'm talking with a couple hitters here. They probably hate me too, but I like a guy that pitches inside effectively. And Hunter Brown, since he went to that sinker, he's been one of the best pitchers in the game. And when you throw a sinker, if you drop your wrist at all, you're going to run that ball in on right-handed batters. It's a chance you're going to hit them. But when you're on top of the plate, you got to expect that pitchers are going to try to run it in on you. I think he'll learn from that eventually. But it was fun watching those two guys go at it because, hey, Christian Moore, who just came up to the big leagues, he was out there helping his teammate out immediately. So that's what I'm seeing from this team right now. They're kind of taking the personality of Ron Washington, although he's not with the team right now, but he has that mentality of we're fighting every single day. And even when they've been behind in games, they immediately come back, which is good to see. Last year and the year before that, that wasn't the case.
Yeah, no, it sounds like they're battling. It sounds like they're going to keep competing, and you guys are building something there. I mean, you guys took 3 of 4 at Yankee Stadium. You swept the Dodgers last month at their place. Like, it's starting to be there, but you're getting on that time of the year where even though you're building something and you're about what? You're 2 out of Ohtani, here come the trade talks. How reluctant are they to trade pieces? How reluctant are they to kind of not want to move anything because they're starting to build something? Or who can you see if they are going to be, because they're only a game out, I think, of the wild card. Are they going to be trying to hold tight, or are they going to be moving some pieces?
Great question, Jason. By the way, been a big fan of your career too, man. I always love the way you played. Hey, they were rumored to be getting you in a trade a few years ago when you were still playing with Cleveland. Believe me, I heard those rumors. I was like, get him, because he's a great player.
I would have liked one.
Yeah, yeah. But it's interesting because when you look at what's coming up in the month of July. They go on this next road trip. They go to Atlanta. They go to Toronto. They come home. They play Texas. They play Arizona. Open up the second half in Philly against the Mets, and they come home again against the Rangers. So it's a difficult month of July, and they got Seattle in there too.
Yeah.
They play well. You mentioned the teams they play well against. They went to Dodger Stadium, swept them. They almost, they went 3 or 4 in Yankee Stadium. So I think right now it is a great question because I think there's some really good young players, and there's some veterans in there that certainly teams are going to be inquiring the Angels about. But I think if they stay the course and continue to play like this against this really tough competition, like I said, this month of July is going to be extremely difficult. If they can find their way still within a game or 2 of the wild card, it's been so long. They haven't been in the postseason since 2014. It'd be hard to believe and to be able to sell to the fan base that finally they're behind these young core. If you get Mike Trout going, he's starting to show some signs. He's working walks, so he's seen the ball better, which is good. They've been hitting the ball really well on the road. They play a lot of road games coming up. Taylor Ward has 19 home runs, 14 of them on the road. They have 3 guys in their lineup now with 17 or more home runs, and they got Trout and Neto with 12. So they got some guys with pop. I just don't think they're going to be a seller. I think they're going to try maybe to add. But if they get Moncada back for defense and some solid at-bats, working counts, which they don't really have a lot of guys that work counts. They're really aggressive. And Solera is on his way back. So maybe with those guys coming back, better balance in the lineup, you might see them try to add on rather than sell.
FT fam, did you know that Huel has sold over 500 million meals around the world, and now it is your turn to try it. While I drink it.
Drink up, Scott, so I can discuss Huel and how I love it. I had some for breakfast this morning. I like to drink it post-workout because of the protein included in it. It always tastes delicious, whether it's strawberry, banana, chocolate, vanilla, whatever the flavor is. It tastes like a dessert, honestly. It should not taste as good as it does.
I agree. New customers get 15% off plus a free gift at Huel.com when you use the FT code. That is FOUL, F-O-U-L, at Huel.com/FOUL. Don't miss out. Try Huel today for a perfectly balanced meal. If you miss a meal, if you're looking for a little protein boost, you just saw me drinking the black edition, ready to drink. There's the vanilla flavor. I love what the chocolate brings to the table. It's really damn good. So give it a shot, FT fam. 15% off plus a free gift for new customers with the code FOUL.
The Angels have been the only team to have the same starting 5 pitchers pitch for this season. I find that absolutely incredible. Attest to how they build their players and how they give them the opportunities and the health as well. I want to talk about 2 guys. You got a guy like Jose Soriano who, and Kyle Hendricks, 2 basically polar opposite guys. Soriano, the heavy fastball guy, throws harder, and you got a guy like Kyle Hendricks who comes in, doesn't reach 89 miles an hour ever, and he carved up the Yankees last time they faced. Talk a little bit about those starting pitchers and how they're coming into their own and how they've been doing.
Yeah, Todd. I mean, the good thing is Soriano is always next to Kyle Hendricks, which I think is a great decision because he gets people out. You mentioned that with 86-mile-an-hour fastballs, break down the heart of the plate. I'm thinking whenever I threw that, I'm either asking for a new baseball or I'm backing up a base. Yet he's getting these guys swinging and missing. That's what you're seeing from Soriano because He's not overthrowing his fastball, yet it's 99 to 100 with movement down. Early in the season, he was overthrown, was flat, going to the barrel of the bat. And you guys know anything towards the barrel of the bat with that kind of velocity, you make contact, he's got a chance of being hitting hard. So his stuff, his knuckle curve and his slider right now are absolute wipeout pitches to go along with that power sinker. But he's watching Kyle Hendricks go, how he sets up hitters with his changeup, and he gets them look off speed, and then he gets a fastball by him. So now hitters can't sit all the time on Soriano's sinker. They got to be aware of that knuckle curve. They got to be aware of that slider. He even has a pretty good splitter that he doesn't use a lot, but the hitters have to be aware of that, and that's what's making his fastball better. And when you think about the 5 starters, I mean, it's pretty amazing. I watched their routines, and I got a chance to put on a uniform in spring training just to kind of talk with the pitchers on what I went through and how I learned from different people, from Nolan Ryan, about the importance of running long distance and sprint work and leg work and long toss and things like that. And these guys are kind of figuring out the legs and the core are so important to keeping the rest of your body healthy for a pitcher, especially because the guys throw as hard as they can every pitch. But as long as you have your legs and your core strong, it gives you a chance to keep that elbow and shoulder intact, and that's what we're seeing so far from the starting staff.
Yeah, that's where I wanted to double down on. Obviously, pitching injuries are insane in our sport at this point. So do you think there's anything that other organizations can take from the philosophical approach of the Angels? And hey, I'm going to be real here. Angels have been a disappointing team for a while. They haven't been the best team at developing pitchers, but to point to the durability factor is impressive. And I know many teams, Gooby, are going to look at a pitcher and go, well, we're going to maximize the hell out of him. And if he gets hurt, oh, well, we'll move on to the next guy. But, we're as a show really trying to talk through how we can get more of the marquee matchups, starters going deep into outings. And this is a perfect week to ask about it because we have Skeens matching up against Mizraski, and it takes over the sport for a day. And we are missing that. We need more of that. And the way to do it is to actually have healthy starters who go deep into outings.
Yeah, you're exactly right on that, Scott. Yeah, this team has not developed pitchers, and I'm not going to say otherwise. That's true. I mean, they haven't. They've developed position players over the years, but just watching what they've done, with Perry Manassi, what he's done with as far as their core, as far as their pitching staff, even in the minor leagues, a lot of guys that throw hard, but a lot of guys they feel that will take the baseball. That's part of their mentality, is taking the baseball every 5 days as far as the starting pitching. And the more you have that mindset, the more I think you're going to learn how to pitch. And the philosophy is it's okay to get it out on 1 or 2 pitches. I mean, we see so often we have so many pitches, and their stuff is amazing, from the velocity to spin, that it's difficult sometimes not to throw 4 or 5 pitches every single batter because there's a lot of swing and misses. So the philosophy is going out and attack. And when you get a chance, when you get 2 strikes, go for that punch out. Or if there's a guy in scoring position at third base, less than 2 outs, yes, go for the punch out. But I think the philosophy now is it's okay to get a quick out. That's why you have defenders out there behind you. And that's one of the thing I've always been, kind of always scratching my head. We have so many great athletes in the game right now, especially defensively. Why aren't pitchers and organizations utilizing that? If they're going to make the plays and you can throw 1 or 2 pitches, you save your best stuff for when you need it. That's what the mindset is. That's how you're going to keep pitchers healthy. Because I want the very best guys going out there. The Scooble going against Skeens. Say that happens sometime. As a fan, I'm watching it. Yeah, we all love offense. We love the power. We love the home run. We love the defensive plays. But when you have 2 guys, it's like going to the OK Corral. It's like Doc Holliday going against Johnny Ringo. We want guys going at it there on the pitching side. And I think if you can keep them on the field, fans will love that just as much as the home run ball.
Yeah, it's a marketing play. I mean, we want to be able to follow names that we know and names that are shining, and that's easiest to do with starting pitching ledgers. Okay, on the development side of things, do you guys joke like we do about how you'll have to watch the draft this year and see who they pick in the first round because he'll probably be up in August? I mean, they do it so much more aggressively than anyone else. So as someone that's around the team every day, do you guys joke about it? And also, how is it playing out in your mind? Because we've seen a lot of these guys now come up, and many of them have fared well. It's impossible for us to know if they would have done better if they had another year of seasoning, because we will never have the other case study against, someone like Shanawell not spending any time really in the minor leagues, among many others. And now I bring it up because Christian Moore looks pretty good to start.
Yeah. Again, that's something that everywhere I go, they ask the same question about that. And the philosophy now for the Angels, they like, because of the coaching staff they have up here at the big league level, they feel they can develop the players up at the major league level. Now, I mean, the expectations coming into the season, yeah, you want it to be competitive and have a chance to get to the postseason. But now you're seeing guys like, you mentioned Christian Moore. He ties a game in the 8th inning with a home run and wins it on a walk-off in the 10th. Home run the left, home run the right center. What that tells you, he's letting that baseball travel pretty well, and he has a pretty good idea. They feel really good about developing their players at the major league level. I know a lot of old school guys, believe me, I have arguments with them all the time. Oh, you need 2,000 at bats or 1,500 at bats in the minor leagues to figure things out. Yes, there's ups and downs. I was lucky enough to make it up to big leagues as 21-year-old, and I pitched in rookie ball and A ball and then double A. And A ball, I really didn't pitch. I was hurt, so I only had double A, and I skipped triple A. Yeah, there's ups and downs. There's doubts in your mind, but if you have the right people around you to say, listen, if you're in the big leagues, you're talented. Now it's the mind thing. You guys know that, Todd, and Kips. These guys are going to have ups and downs. It's how you bounce back, and you worry about, is there a chance that they don't respond back and get bounced back if they do struggle? Yeah, you worry about that. But I think these guys have proven, from the Netos, the Sean Wells, and Hoppies, and even Joe Adell, when you think about it, who's hit 10 home runs in this month of June alone. There was a lot of ups and downs with Joe. He's seeing the ball well now, and he's hitting the ball. There's going to be, like I said, there's some development issues there. And as far as the draft, I don't have no idea who they're going to draft. I think it might be a pitcher. They've been going pitcher heavy, but they really could use a bat, especially for me in the outfield developing. If that's a possibility, that might happen for the Angels, but it wouldn't surprise me at all. We always joke around. He goes, oh, he's drafted tomorrow. He'll be here the next day. And chances are he will be here the next day.
You were up at 21. I could tell you I was not physically mature enough at 21 years old. And I know for a fact I was not mentally mature enough either at 21 years old. So that's impressive to be up at that time. We're talking about the starting rotation health, but we're going to go to the flip side, kind of on the unfortunate side of the unhealthy side. Is there an update on Ron Washington? And how has this team been rallying around kind of not having them, especially, well, you mentioned it, there's a tough schedule coming up where sometimes teams really need to rely on their manager to get them through that. And the personality alone is a great personality to have around. So what's the update on that end?
Yeah, Jay, that's, we've been waiting to hear more and more each day. He's been around as much as possible.
Okay.
We saw him in New York when we were going home. He didn't look real healthy. He wasn't feeling real good, but he was at the ballpark. We're like, Wash, you're still, he goes, I got a job to do. That's the thing he instills on his players. And he doesn't allow young or veteran players to come in and go, hey, I'm not doing really. Right away, he's jumping right down in their grill saying, we need you to be able to go out there and perform every single day you put on that uniform. So it is difficult not having him on the bench. His presence has been around. We don't really know. I think we're going to know something by today or tomorrow, how long he may be out. Hopefully it won't be long because, I love my conversations with him every day. If you ask him one question, you got about an hour talk about anything to do with baseball, from the modern player to the player he played against, the guys played before him. He's a wealth of baseball information, and his fight is what everyone loves about him. That's why we're all praying for him and pulling for him during this fight he's in right now, that we know that he's going to be able to fight through this and be part of this. And hopefully something magical happens towards the end of the year. If they can get through this month of July coming up, then maybe this team has something special going on because of Wash.
Yeah, we're obviously thinking about Wash. He's been on this show. We all know him, covered him for a long time. Gooby, last one for you. So the Angels just swept the Red Sox. I watched a decent amount of that series. What did you see on the other side there with Boston, and how I now think lost 5 in a row? You've got like Roman Anthony, who is supposed to be amazing, but getting everything on his shoulders to hit third. Devers is gone. So, how do you sum up the way you looked at that team over the last few days? And of course, we can get your take on the Devers trade. For me, I'm curious more on, it's forget just the drama. They're supposed to be competing this year. They traded away a top 10 bat in the sport, and you've probably met Devers. He's like quiet. He's not Manny Ramirez showing up late, pain in the butt. Yeah,
the thing is with Devers, I know, just talking with the pitchers, I know whenever we went through a team when we were facing them, who do you avoid in those big moments? And Devers every time. When you don't see his presence in a lineup, it doesn't matter who else is in there. You feel like as a pitcher, you're confident that you can navigate your way. Duran's a really good player. I love the way he plays the game. He's got a lot of speed. He plays good defense in the outfield. He's got some pretty good power. He's a triples machine. And they have some young players. They're very similar when you think about some of their young players that are supposed to be able to carry a team like the Angels are right now. But the Angels now, with Trout back in there, they have Mike Trout and they have a Taylor Ward. So you have a veteran around. It's tough for these young guys to look at someone to allow them to relax at the plate. They're trying to do too much. You can see in their swings they're trying to do too much. And I think that's what's hurting their offense. I know they had to make a decision with Devers. I know things were going awry there as far as how things were working out with the team. But when you have a guy like Crochet, I watched him pitch the other day. I mean, against the Angels, I'm like, wow, this guy's unreal. So you have a potential of wasting an arm like that. Their bullpen's been used a lot, and they got some good arms down there. But when you don't have your anchor of your offense and Devers in there, they're a completely different team. Even when we saw them up at Fenway Park a few weeks ago in Boston, he was there. And that's the first thing. You could see a pitcher's reaction. Believe me, when I was facing guys, and all of a sudden you go, uh-oh, there's Albert Bell waiting on deck. I'm like, oh, man. Can Albert Bell just move on and go somewhere else? Because that's the one guy. And then you forget about the other hitters in the lineup. Then you start making mistakes. So Devers not being there is a huge hole for the Red Sox that, be honest with you, I don't know if we're able to overcome that right now, because that's the one bat you need if you're a Red Sox fan.
Hey, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.